Hi guys, putting here with a helping the community slash community replay with Mr. Uh, Chavetski and his Jean-Bart. I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly. If I did, I apologize about that. But from here on out, we will be known as Mr. Jean-Bart, so I don't butcher his name anymore. Now we are on Shards, and to me, this map is a frustrating map because it's pretty much mirrored as far as the islands and all this stuff. So it to me, it's just a frustrating map to play at times. Now, the one thing you need to know about the Jean-Bart is basically it's a Richelieu at tier 9. It has all of its guns forward, and they are still the 15-inch shells, which means most cruisers you're going to have a difficult time penning the bow, especially the Americans. Now he is top tier, and this gameplay, he did say started off slowly, but I think it showcases some of the strengths between like the Jean-Bart, the Richelieu, even the Azuma, per se, even a Dunkirk, is there's no reason to just go rush out there and tank like everything else does. Because all of your guns are forward, which means you are going to have a very difficult time kiting ships. Now, I do like how he's, looking around. He's stopping and he's kind of, this is where I'm going to park my butt for a while now. It's dangerous with the carrier, even if it's a lower tier carrier. If they want you dead, they're just going to keep sending planes after planes after planes after planes. But it does have help, so there is double AA around him. Now, I do like how he took shots in on two different ships, and he remembered to hit his reload booster, and he's paying attention to the German Tier 7 battleship. And that's what he was going to shoot again instead of the Otago. Now, my one criticism, or one of my criticisms about the way he's playing is he is looking around. I do not know if he's paying attention to the minimap, but if you're going to stay zoomed in or in sniper mode this long all the time, you really need to pay attention to the minimap as he just punishes the North Carolina with a double sit. You need to pay attention, and you kind of got to know when you're going back too far, when, your minimap is going to be your eyes because you're not zooming out to see what is going on or how much, like if you're backing out of the smoke or if you're backing around the island, like when it's going to get in the way. As, almost had that York, but he still manages to punch him for at least one Citadel. And the reason I say this is because he's still reversing with this island. And if you can look at the minimap, he's starting to reverse a little bit too far. Now, when you do this a lot, you're just going to naturally get good at it. But some of the reason I forget to hit my reload booster on my front ships is because I'm constantly going in and out between sniper view to look at my surroundings to see what's going on. I usually use it to, something burned its DCP. Let me hopefully reignite you button. And I focus on them. But when I get done, I zoom back out. Now, I don't know if you're scrolling in or out. The other thing is, I believe its shift is naturally the zoom in and out. But of course, the carrier comes up. Now, what's about to happen is something I think people need to be aware of. Is you see how his target reticle is naturally tracking. And pay attention to when the carrier goes behind. Do you see how it kept tracking for like a half a second longer? That's usually the little bit of half a second when you still have the accuracy bonus to when you shoot. I complain about it when something shoots me, and of course I'm so far away it takes forever for the shells to get there. We all do it, but it's still something people need to be aware of, that it is a game mechanic. It is in the game. It's always been there. It's always been like that. And sometimes we do forget, but I want to point it out because it happens to him twice, and it's going to play a big part in what's coming up. Now, like I said, he did say it was a little bit slow as far as the action, but I kind of like, what he's trying to punish everything that is broadside. That's what you got to do with these shells. When you're going to have a difficult time going through something's bow, or it's not giving it a best shot. He's trying to pay attention to broadside targets, which is perfect. Now, because we're not zoomed out, we don't know if he had shots on anything else. But instead of taking shots on that carrier at that moment, and you know what, yeah, he did significant damage, you might have been able to kill this Atago. Carriers are like the artillery of World of Tanks. As soon as it's spotted, everybody ignores everything else and wants to shoot at it. There is a time and place for that when you do need it, and that situation is just one of those. You did it because you were in sniper view, focused on that, and your guns were already trained that way. If your guns weren't, it's not worth the time to say if his guns were trained on the Atago to turn your guns to shoot at the carrier. Shoot the Atago, then turn your guns and hope he's still spotted. But there's still a DD left at on A side, and this is what I mean. This is the correct situation, because anybody paying attention to the map knows that carrier showed up, but he stayed focused on the line, shot the line, then refocused on the carrier. As you can see, more shells are coming in on the carrier from something else. I'm not 100% sure what it is. But he's taking a blind shot in on the carrier in the hopes of where the carrier is going to be. And this is skill / luck, trying to estimate where the ship's going to be. As he nails the carrier for a citadel and the death. Now, what he has to pay attention to or be worried about is the guys from A. He's run prior to target, so he knows something's looking at him. And there is a Jutland. Oh, look. The Jutland just turned out. Geez, your priority target went up by 1, down by 1. Unfortunately, got really nice dispersion as the Jutland just completely avoids it. But luckily for us, the Neptune comes in, and because a rapid firing destroyer is not shooting at us while we're sitting in a smoke cloud, must be sending torpedoes. Played that very nicely. I'm sure the Jutland might have been in somewhat of a panic for that. I'm not sure what this Lion's doing. I don't know if he beached and is reversing, but I do like how you're kind of like, yeah, let me just ignore him because, oh look, there's a broadside cruiser. The Alaska, one played properly and angling, it's going to be a very tough nut to crack. Unfortunately, you missed the Citadel, and it could be because he did turn in and he wasn't perfectly broadside. Now, I like this, the positioning that you are in now. You are going full steam forward, and it looks like you're planning on using the this island here for cover from these guys. You know, nobody can really get shots in because you're right there, and that is a really good. That's a really good play, but sorry about the sniffle. Everybody's shooting AP to each other, bow in, and I don't know why the Alaska is. It's a battleship for crying out loud. You know he's got a good bow, and your shells aren't going to go through. I don't know the Alaska's nose plates, but I always caution on the side of error, and I'm just going to say it's 27 millimeters, which means your shells aren't going to go through. So if you're aiming at the guns, good call. But at the same time, you both got a lot of health. And if you're not knocking out those guns, just switch to the AG. You do have your secondaries coming into play. You guys are both using your AG. But for some reason, you kind of turned out just instead of staying even with that island. You are showing this guy broadside, and he does have some nasty AP. So either you're trying to debate him into switching to AP and bounce, but because you did that, we're gonna pause it right here and just blow up the mini-map. Because you left this island here, and instead of just kind of either A, sitting there, or B, reversing, because there are no more DDs, the carrier's dead. Instead of sitting there, you came out to maybe debate this guy. He didn't fall for it, but more importantly, in a situation like this, is you have two ships, one of which is the Musashi, who just loves seeing stuff broadside. It may be difficult to Citadel you, but Musashi's one of those ships, and pretty much anyone else can still get a lot of good pen damage on you. You've lost that protection from these two guys, because if you would have stayed here, you just face tank him. You've got the Colorado helping, possibly the other Alaska helping. You have your secondaries. This is, for sake of argument, a 3v1. Even if the Colorado's dealing with this guy, the bare minimum is a 2v1 because of your secondaries. You have better secondaries than him. But coming out here, this guy's going to have shots on you now because he's advancing. If you stayed here, he has to advance this way, or he's got to turn out because, you know, you are here. He's got to angle it up. He's got to go out a little bit further than he's going to want to do. Kind of like what you're doing, he's going to have to do, and you kind of give up your advantage here. Now, I'm not sitting there saying, you know, I'm not trying to be thick. I'm just trying to point out something you may have overlooked in game, and you know, we all know these intense situations, and the reason I point this out is because obviously I've seen the replay and I know what's going to happen. But you know, there's three people targeting you. You just got hit really hard. It was the Musashi. You know, that guy got a nice angle on you. Now, of course, I'm just ignoring chat, but you made the correct call. Start angling against the Musashi. The Alaska may have great guns to deal with cruisers. It doesn't have the greatest guns to deal with battleships. But you don't want to give him full broadside because his AP is still going to hurt you. Now, with the Lion definitely being dead, we know the Colorado's in play. So the Alaska is fighting your secondaries. I think so. I don't know. I don't know if you got a secondary build, but he's definitely fighting the Colorado. So the Colorado's getting free shots on him as you're dealing with the Musashi. You made the correct call in dealing with the Musashi. You guys are both broadside. Oof. You got the nice Citadel, and excellent job on finishing up the Musashi. Luckily, you survive. Spoiler alert, he is going to kill. He he is going to kill the Edinburgh Bro, but it did a really good job of tanking damage and staying alive and mitigating and shooting at the correct targets at the right time as we check out the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys really did enjoy this replay. And like I'm saying, he put himself in a precarious situation, but he realized it was a precarious situation, adjusted to it, and it all came down to the end, and focused on the right target. He knew it would take the Alaska a long time to burn him down. The Musashi's broadside, you were broadside-ish, but you did angle up. So if the Musashi didn't know how to shoot, you could get a lot of bounces. But you focused on the right target. I will say you got lucky your guns were out of sync because it seemed like he went broadside for one set and not the other one. But enough of me babbling on. It was an excellent gameplay. I hope you guys did learn something. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope everybody's having one heck of a good Easter. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do love the replays you send in. The email for that is in the description down below. And I believe above the email is all our favorite streamers. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. And once again, I hope everyone's having a great Easter. Have a great day. And please hit that like and subscribe button.